musician. He plays many instruments. Maybe one time we'll try to get him to play other things. So the first thing what we're going to do now is start the service, and Danny's going to play a medley of Jewish music just to set the tone and get us good settled. Shh. Thank you. Thank you, Danny. We're going to move from instrumental Hanukkah music to a song that has a theme of light. So sit back. I don't think we've heard it before. Welcome back, Miranda.
You've heard it once before, and it's quite easy. The lyrics are, may I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. Very simple. Join along if you'd like. And it's a cappella, so as many voices are welcome as possible. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive.
It was nice to hear the song. Thank you. It's really beautiful. There's a reading in the middle of page 169. So we're going to do a couple readings, a couple prayers. In the slot when I usually would be giving a sermon, I have a short reflection on what my trip to Israel was like, but the tech team has pictures that I took when I was there and a couple of videos I made at various intense situations like I did last year. And so it's a night just to focus on ourselves, to get us focused. Hanukkah's about events that took place in Jerusalem, so I look forward to sharing where things are at right now. So the middle of 169, we give thanks. Let's read it responsively. We give thanks to you, O God, for this Shabbat day, which unites us as a community of faith and hope. Your turn. Holiness of Shabbat, which can lead us to fulfill the best that is in us, we give thanks. For the memories of Shabbat, enriched by generations of our people who observed it, and from it drew courage to face hardship and light to banish darkness, we are grateful.
We offer thanks
For the peace of Shabbat, the day consecrated to family love. O God, our turning to you exalts our humanity. You are the joy of our life, the source of its greatness, its power, and its beauty.
Help us, O God, to find inspiration for the coming week.
Help us to find peace within ourselves and one another. Are you feeling loosened up? You ready? You left behind some of the schmutz, the dirt from the week? No? Everyone, it was easy? Sometimes it takes a bit of time. Some people had to drive 8 miles to get here. I know. Now we're going to go to the liturgy. We try various means to help us meet the Sabbath bride with a full heart and an open mind. Page 12, Lechud Neranana.
Let us sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God a new song. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la. Adonai, Narial Yitzur Yishenu, Nekadma Fanav Betoda, Bitzmirod Narialo, Bitzmirod Narialo. Let us sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God a new song. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la.
Thank you. In the middle of page 12, let's read the English, and then Joe will share a few announcements. Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai. Raise a shout for our rock and deliverer. Let us come into God's presence with praise. Let us raise a shout for God in song. For Adonai is a great God, the great ruler of all divine beings. And now, our co-president, Joe Tejas, with a few announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom. As everyone already knows, I'm Joe Tejas, co-president with Sharon. Glad to see everybody here. Just a few more weeks to go in the end of this year already. First of all, I'd like to have a big thank you to Debbie and Lori for a very successful packed bags for the veterans. We did like 200 bags, and we had boxes of supply items for the local food pantries also. Okay. Some reminders. First of all, tomorrow we'll be having a Torah study on Zoom at 10 a.m. Our condolences go out to Sharon Kravitz and her family on the passing of her father. I'd like to remind everybody the meal of condolence is on Monday. Their services also are on Monday. If you are going to attend, please RSVP today. Mushu Drew is next Tuesday. I'd like to remind you also to RSVP. We have a lower than expected number for some reason, but you have until tonight, till midnight. So please go ahead and click on that link in RSVP. We're having, as always, fantastically delicious Chinese food from Golden Wall. Golden Wall? Yes. And Ellie is in charge of getting the food, and she promises me it's going to be delicious, and this year we'll even have a spicy dish. Thank you, Ellie. One spicy dish. Make sure it's a full tray, something good. All right, and next Friday is the third night of Hanukkah, so we'll be doing the Hanukkah event here on that night, so please attend, bring your family Hanukkah. We'll be lighting up here in front, and then we'll be having a delicious oneg of sufganiyot and latkes, which I went to get today. All right, thank you, Rabbi, for all your hard work. Thank you, Danny Pravder, for the incredible music and artistic performance. Thank you, Miranda, for your song and beautiful voice. Thank you to our tech team, Chris, David, and Ryan, for your incredible hard work in getting this done every week. Those who are on the on YouTube chat, thank you to Helene. Today we actually are blessed by having Brandy in person instead of on virtual. Good to see you, Brandy. Tonight's ushers, we got Eileen and Laura Milhander. Thanks to both of you. And of course, today we had our delicious oneg provided by Dina Yastrok. All right. Our welcomes, our Shabbat greetings, we had Ted Noel Singer. Thank you to Rita and Bob Rubin and to the McNalla family. As you all know, our emergency exits are here behind Danny and behind the tech team. I was going to say, I think Noel did, yeah.
The flowers.
Oh, I didn't get a flower slide.
I think it's Rita in honor of Bob's 80th birthday.
My apologies, Rita. I didn't get the message. And I was going to say something about the flowers because I noticed we have beautiful flowers. Thank you to Rita for getting these beautiful flowers. And you said it's Bob's
80th birthday.
80th birthday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I never would have thought 80. Wow, looking good. Happy birthday to Bob tomorrow. And thank you again.
Thank you, Joe. Page 165. Let's keep celebrating. Oh, that would be me. Excuse me. My God, this is for all of us to read because it's really sage wisdom. My God, keep my tongue from evil and my lips from speaking guile. To those who revile me, let my soul be silent. My soul shall be to all as dust. Open my heart to your Torah. Let my soul hasten to do your commandments. Let the words of my mouth and my heart's meditation be acceptable in your presence, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Please turn to page 24 for Shalom Aleichem.
מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
I'm happy to call forward one of our stellar, excellent teachers, Laura Milhander, to do a reading and do the Shabbat blessings. Please rise. She would have a handheld for you.
Am I doing the reading first?
What?
Am I doing the reading first?
Yes.
Oh,
Page 3.
page 3. I should know that.
Either one.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
But it might be easier since you have to take this in anyway to like the large ones.
Can you just do it from here?
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you, Laura. Please be seated. We're working our way towards the Baruch Hu. We have another couple readings to do. Before I forget, we are working hard to make sure now that there are themes in our study. So tomorrow morning will be our last two things. One, we're going to talk about sibling rivalry because we have some ongoing tension. The first family, of the Jewish people had a lot of issues between different siblings and through many generations. But then we're going to also talk about hate and what hate does to you if you carry it for too long. And we'll look at the first maybe 40 verses and we'll have a discussion. And we may find great pictures of Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat, because that's where it appears tomorrow. The middle of 134. You're welcome to read with me. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest, sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel, who sanctifies your name, rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. We now turn to page 24. Lecha Dodi.
Lehadodi likrat kala Shabbat nekabela lehadodi likrat kala pernei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Ishmianu el hamilhad Adonai echad u'shmo echad Leshem ultiferet velitila lehadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lehadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila lehadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lehadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela hitoreri kiva orech kumi uri shir daberi kevod Adonai alayich tikla lehadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lehadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Boi v'shalom ateret bala Gam b'simcha v'tzola Toch emunei am segula Boi chala lehadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lehadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela
During this season, we have so much to be grateful for. In a time in our lives when we are often lonely or alone with our thoughts, our tradition has a prayer we say only when we're with 10 other people, and we're blessed to have even more than that. The Baruch Hu is the call to worship, to thank God for God's connection to us and also the connection we have to everyone around us. The Baruch Hu, page 28.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice
Page 30. Let's read together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim bechokma poteach she'arim uvitvuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim b'mishmorotehem berakia kirtzono bore yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil ben yom uven layla Adonai tzavaot shemo El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai amari v'aravim. Ahavat olam, which talks about God's eternal love for us, page 32.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha chavta, Amcha chavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadata, Otanu limadata. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu uvkumenu nahasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha uv'mitzvotecha le'olam v'ad ki hem chayenu ve'orach yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla nege yomam v'layla ve'achavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael ohev amo Yisrael.
Page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha ve'chol levavcha uve'chol nafshecha uve'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzchavetcha hayom alevavecha v'nishatam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'vetecha uvlechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein enecha uchtavtam על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Let's go right to page 40, Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר וקודש, נורא תהילות תוסף אלי, נורא תהילות תוסף אלי. יאי לי לי, יאי לי לי, יאי לי לי, יאי לי לי, יאי לי יאי לי. Ya la 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 ya la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Malchutecha rahuvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, zelianu ve'ameru, zelianu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch leolam vaed, Adonai imloch leolam vaed.
V'ne'emar ki fata Adonai Yaakov v'galo me'achazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai gal Yisrael. Hashkivenu, page 42. Hashkivenu.
Hashkifenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Ve'amidenu shomreinu Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Ve'amidenu shomreinu lechayim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Ve'amidenu shomreinu lechayim.
Let's read the translation of the whole prayer in the middle, page 42. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu. V'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Please rise for Veshamru in body or in spirit, page 44.
Shabbat ledoratam meritolam veshamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat ledoratam meritolam b'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam Oti leolam beshamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat ledoratam beritolam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'shamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat ledoratam beritolam Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat ledoratam beritolam.
Please remain standing. Adonai Svatai, page 46.
Adonai Svatai tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai Svatai tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai Svatai tiftach Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'en Hora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'socher Chasdei Avot Va'imachot, Umevi Geola Livnehem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Chozer Hu Moshiach Hu Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakal Atal Rahav Loshia. Mashiv Haruach O Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofe Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Givurot, Umidu Melach, Melech Mebit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Ve'ne'eman atah lachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom, yachalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Page 55 at the top. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you bless it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day God had completed the work that had been done. Ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done, then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. At the bottom of the page, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. I think I read at the bottom of the other page. Let's go to page 57 at the top. There's so many good readings. Sorry about that, guys. 57 at the top. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. 58, we acknowledge. Let's read together. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai our God and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. And finally, the top of page 59, God of goodness. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ucha na'eh lehodot. And now another beautiful song about peace, Shalom Rav, the top of page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amecha Yisrael. Beholeitu v'hosha bishlomecha. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
The songs in our hearts need time to percolate. There may not be words written to the tunes we hear. For the next minute, I encourage you to pause and think about what words are most important to you at this time. Danny will play a short piece as we ponder before moving on to the Mishaberach, which will be on page 253. Page 253, the prayer for those in our community who are ill, whether it's physically, spiritually, or emotionally. Page 253.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
At this time, we're praying for healing for the following individuals. Some are members of our synagogue, like the first one, David Morrison, and others are friends and relatives of our members or people in the general community who've told our members or myself they want to be prayed for. David Morrison, Charlie Austin, Steve Lee, Peggy Harwitz, Jordy Glasner, that's Sue Epstein's daughter, Iro Epstein, Zissa Leah Batpero, Brenda Leek, Karen Host, Joe Manriguez, Jeff Shear, Susie Wolfson, Rabbi Howard Lapes and Kathleen Schmidt, Isaiah. What? I thought I heard someone say something. Kathleen Schmidt, Isaiah Mauricio, Ann Jenkins, Sherry Held, Jim Greenspan, Ted Levoot, Sue Rubin, Estelle Windhorst, Diane Smith, Christine Smith, Sue Craven, Lori Wiesel, Robert Hagler, Sandy Levy, Susan Taylor, Henrietta Goitzman de Moya, Chris Miller, Beatrice Valles, Judy Weinstein, Oded Lifshitz, and Karina Aryev, our new hostages that I thought we should mention, and not only the names, because the names of the hostages and faces are all over Jerusalem. Different people need to be heard. And I'm reading the names that people asked to have me read silently. If there are people in our sanctuary, you're welcome to now, as my hand moves across the room, to add the names of your loved ones. And as is our custom in the chat, I see they're being put in so the online community can give support to each other. Is there anyone on Danny's side over there? Yes, Ruth. Thank you. Leslie. Sue's right here. She said she's fine. Eileen. Thank you. Hi, Sue. Welcome back. I happen not to have been. Welcome back. Anyone else? Yes, Peggy. Thank you. Dina. Thank you. Laura. Okay. Sandy. Thank you. And we pray for all the families in Israel who've had soldiers injured. We pray for those who are mourning people who have died in the conflict. We pray for the people on both sides of the conflict. The toll is very high. Page 253, the second half.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Please be seated. So we're going to do a couple things now. Can you guys hear me? Because it doesn't sound like it's on the usual level. Okay, you can hear me in the back? Okay, good. So I wanted to just share a reflection that I wrote about the time that I was visiting Israel. And then there are some slides and some videos that I made while I was there that David and the crew have. I'll add as much as I can to the slides, but I also understand it's not an adult ed program, it's a Shabbat service, so there may not be enough time for everything. It's usually a bad thing when a rabbi takes off their watch, but I think this will be a good thing because it means I want to make sure it doesn't go on too long. The trip to Israel was a combination of meaning and memories, pain and perseverance. People there are both loving their lives and mourning the new reality since the 7th of October, 2023. In Jerusalem, the faces of the hostages and banners saying, "Bring them home now," are ever present. Near the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, there are tents where families of hostages and families of soldiers families of soldiers killed in battle sit for day after day. Some are on hunger strikes. Others just want to keep the reality of their lives and of their loved ones present in the public imagination. The plight of the hostages helps keep the time of life somewhat muted on occasion. What I mean is, there are times when you just can't be your regular self, and joy is a little bit lower than usual. And yet, the city of Jerusalem was also bustling with traffic. And a week ago, when we shopped in Machane Yehuda, the large outdoor market, it felt like we were leaving a Dodger game after a World Series game where you were just smashed with people. The city is alive, and it's also gasping for air. We also traveled to the areas close to Gaza. The areas near Gaza are a lot more solemn. Sderot is a town which was attacked directly by the terrorists on that fateful day. It's also a city you may know that over the last, I don't know exactly how many years, 5 or 7 years, has had an ongoing barrage of rockets. It may even have been longer because we visited an indoor playground that's also the largest bomb shelter, and the JNF built it, I think, in the late aughts, as they say, in about 2008. So that area has received, missile after missile for, 16 years. And we saw the ones that, they were displaying for us to see. Sderot now has a touching memorial to all those who died on that fateful day on the former site of the police station, which Hamas attacked so brazenly on the 7th of October. The memorial is both inspiring due to the art and the quotes that are on the thin mini towers, and it's also very sobering. The memorial both recognizes the transformative power of perseverance and of the belief in the Zionist dream and in God giving strength to the people, but it also memorialized the stark realities of what the day was and could have been even worse, and what threat there still remains to their ongoing realities of their lives. There is an acknowledgement that everything in Sderot especially is temporal, and that the trauma is real, and it's acknowledged, and it is a part of their lives. Interestingly, when asked, they said that we are not going to leave Sderot because it's home, and it's where their families are, or were, and where their memories live full time. I'll close by saying that they are so grateful for the efforts of outsiders to be present and accepting of the realities of their tenuous lives. They need people to help carry their trauma and their grief. They need to know that they are not alone. To that point, they so appreciated the Hanukkah cards, which our religious school students made. We have under 30 students in the school, but Judy and I went to Israel with 80 cards. You'll see a picture. I put one, it's kind of like a Where's Waldo kind of thing. I put one on a little stand next to the Western Wall. But besides that, I was very respectful and gave them to students. Last Friday, I had the honor of doing a Devar Torah at the large Reform synagogue in Jerusalem, where I'd visited the rabbi last year and we connected prior to the trip. He invited me to speak on last week's Torah portion. And on Saturday, when Judy and I went back, I brought one of those bags. They kept coming. And he so appreciated it. We gave another bag to one of Judy's great nephews, and we received a picture shortly after we returned. Maybe some of you saw it on Facebook of the kids, in that class, holding the cards from our kids. We're a 15-hour flight away. And they so appreciated. I said to someone when I returned, it's sort of like when there's a death in the family and people go to the Shiva house. You don't have to say anything magical. You can't take away the pain of the reality. But by sitting and eating with them and listening to stories, which is what we did, and boy, did we eat, you're showing people that they're not alone. Our group of rabbis and partners and spouses was the largest conference that they'd had since the 7th of October. So they're trying to both live normal lives and also figure out how to go on. The last line from Hatikva, which sticks in my mind when I say it in this country, and it was especially poignant when we sang it at the memorial to the destroyed police station and the people that died that day in Sderot. Lihiyot am chofshi be'artzenu, to be a free people in our land. That line never resonated so loudly. So now if we could show some of the slides. I think we should just show them. Do you think you can stop as it's being shown?
Yeah, just tell me how.
Okay.
Tell me to go next.
So I was teaching our class, the adult B'nai Mitzvah class, and maybe some of the older students in the religious school, about the old city. And in the third paragraph, I think it's the first paragraph actually, it says that you have to have a mezuzah on your house and on your gates. So that is David's citadel, the citadel of David. It's just, and you can go on to the next. And here, I was showing Ryan beforehand, this is a mezuzah on the entrance to Jaffa Gate. So it is the original city of Jerusalem. All right, we can go on. So we walked around, there were four of us. My niece, Tali, was there with her husband, and Judy was with me. And Tali had spent a gap year in Jerusalem, in the old city, so she was able to know the best places to go. And there was a school trip, and that is a menorah, not a Chanukiah. A menorah has 7 spots, 6 plus the shamash, and a Chanukiah has obviously 8, and then 1 extra. And this is the model of what was in the temple, with the last remaining wall, which you'll see, I think, a couple pictures from the western wall, the Kotel. But this is what the menorahs were. All right, next slide, please. So that's just an inscription. I think it says 1988. There was a group in New York that helped. There's always the name of a benefactor. It looks way older, but they were just helping, establish the gateway near the western wall. And there's the western wall. So this is just an example of the ever-present reality that even if you are on active duty, but you have time off, but it's still your period of time that you have to serve, that you need to take your gun with you. And so it's both comforting, but it is a little bone-chilling, because we saw this type of situation throughout our trip. This was the first day, or second, but it was more of this was to come. All right, please go ahead. And that was the only time I told you I brought one of the cards right next to the wall, and I wanted people to see that, they made it all the way there. Next slide. And there we are as we left. Go ahead. Thank you. And then that's a larger plaza. So just to explain, I don't know when those of you who've been to Israel were last there, but Jews like us, whether you're Reform, a conservative, Reconstructionist, are not allowed to pray in front of the Kotel of the area you're seeing on the screen. The area is supposed to be, and on paper is said, it's a place for the Jewish people, but it's not for the Jewish people, and it's not for Jewish people unless they're Orthodox. And so many times, in my experience, we were screamed at, I don't know if we were spit at, I think that was in Mea Sharim, but it was always unpleasant, whether we as kids, and then when I was a youth advisor, the young women stood on the right of the mechitza. We were there, and just them saying Amen, it was just terrible. We tried to pray in the upper area in the plaza. That didn't work either. So I went with my niece's husband just to pay respects, and the two women had their time. But we'll see a picture towards the end of where the liberal Jewish community can be. It's called Robinson's Arch, and there's a woman who's the rabbi of that area, and there are pluralistic Jewish celebrations there all the time. And it was really beautiful that on the last day of our conference a week ago yesterday, men and women could stand with their talis and tefillin and pray, and it was our space, and it was really beautiful to be able to still feel authentic when in the past we weren't able to. Yes, please, David. And these are ever present. Now those are obviously all the hostages. That was taken on a wall near the city hall in Jerusalem. Now, Lifeline for the Old, I told Leslie that, maybe I didn't give you the name, but I brought back some items from the gift shop there that they have that perhaps we could sell, and they have a good website. Lifeline for the Old is a place that I first learned about. Does anyone know about it? In Hebrew, it's Yad L'Kashish. It's a series of workshops. I think they're up to 9. It was started, I think, in 1972 by a woman named Miriam Mendelow. I might have spoken about her once briefly. It gave such meaning and value and a sense of worth to the older adults of all backgrounds. You don't have to be, an Ashkenazi Jew. They're non-Jews. They're Jews from all over. And it is such a beautiful sight to see. And I had the chance, besides when I was there in youth groups, with youth groups, to volunteer there the year I was there for school 40 years ago. They tried to make me into an artisan in the copper shop. It didn't work, but I polished the bottoms of the copper bowls that the older adults were making, and it was great. I met someone who'd been 20 years in Poland, 20 years in Cuba, 20 years in New York, and then 20 years in Jerusalem. So it's a great, in a way, umbrella organization. It's a very special place, and it was nice to go back. So these are relatives of Judy's, and those are cards. So when we had dinner, we gave it, to a different part of the family to bring to their schools. Now, this is the sad part of the reality. What you see all over Israel now, wherever you go, are stickers dedicated to the lives of the young Israeli soldiers who've died in Gaza or in Lebanon. This one belongs to the boyfriend of a relative of Judy's, who died on the border between Lebanon and Israel when he was returning from duty. It was about 6 weeks ago when we were there. Shloshim, the 30-day period, had just ended. And so it's of particular relevance for our family, and it's heartbreaking. Oh, excuse me, so go back, sorry. So there is a teaching that said, they amended this because his name is Ariel, and he was of the Bukharan community, and he was on our list, right after he died. And the phrase, and that's him on the side, and he's tutoring someone in an organization that is for, I don't even know the language, every type of able-bodiedness. So you weren't segregated based on how you functioned in the world. It was just where youths went. And he was happy to participate, and that's a picture of him tutoring. And the Hebrew says, Mikol milamdei hiskalti, from all of my teachers, the Yiddish phrase sechel, that I got some wisdom. And then the bottom, they switched it. Instead of saying from my students, he said from my chanichim, my campers, like the informal youth settings of all me chanichai, ter me kulam. And it's implying that he learned even more from the people that he gave time to, because they taught him about whatever it was. They taught him perseverance and the value of life. All right, next one. So this is Professor Dahlia Marks. I've quoted from her, exquisite book on the holidays, and she's a professor at HUC in Jerusalem, and she's a rabbi and a PhD, and Reed and I were talking about the possibility of sometime in the future having her speak when she's in this country. Next slide. So that I took, I think, as we were getting ready to go to the Kotel. All right, next slide. See, these signs are ever present. All right, go ahead. So on Tuesday morning, I'm sure some of you have been to professional conferences, and usually you stay in the hotel, maybe go out to dinner if you want to skip the dinner in the hotel. But it would have just been, selfish and self-indulgent for us just to stay in the hotel. So the Tuesday, we went to a building where JNF had a rooftop garden and this and that, and we heard about the ecological work they're doing in terms of trying to abate global warming. But this was the next series of speakers who are involved in trying to help communities. The gentleman on the left set up a tutoring agency for people that go to university. I guess in Jerusalem that'd be Hebrew University, and they tutor women from the Haredi community and women in the local Arab or Muslim community, just to give them a chance to advance their lives if by hook or by crook they make it to university. The woman in the middle is the executive director of the the Jerusalem Open House. It's a safe space for people in the LGBTQ community. I went up to her and said, "I'm from West Hollywood." Didn't ring a bell. I said, and we try really hard to help everybody feel welcome. And so I want to make a donation, from my own funds to help her be able to provide more services. She said an Orthodox rabbi brought in 2 boys. He said, "You need to help me with this problem." And she told us, "I don't see it as a problem, but it's really wonderful that he acknowledged that the 2 boys, need to have, their unique selves to be acknowledged." And the woman on the right, relating to the Kotel, I don't remember her name. She's a volunteer with the group that's called Women of the Wall. I wonder if anyone has heard of it. And so they try to have services just for women, which years ago was what Orthodox Jewish women did. It was, if it's just a woman's minyan, then you could be counted. But it's been a series of attacks and disrespect with police just standing there while people are spit on and kicked. She generally works for the New Israel Fund, but she was explaining how they're struggling. But the problem is they have services every month on Rosh Chodesh, on the new moon. So everybody knows when they're coming. But she described the ways that they are, the authorities, make it difficult. The way you enter, there's a line for women and a line for men, but you're not by the Kotel. There's no need. So there's just a way to harass and to try to pat women down, because some of the women have succeeded at sneaking in Torahs. And we needed to give her respect for the work that she's doing to allow women to pray at the holy site, because, as I said, it's really not an Orthodox synagogue. It's the last remnant of what was part of every Jewish person's background. All right, one more. And there you go. I gave her a card from our religious school students. And all right, let's go on. So this says, well, it's in the English, but the Hebrew is Bishvili ze meuchar midai. For me, it's too late. And then the bottom, Tatzilu otam, save them. And that's not just a little sign like bring them home now. And anyway, there are no words. It's just something that, has to stay in the imagination, but it's almost overwhelming. Next slide. And we were walking one day. Those are, the same signs like the ones we have in the back. Next slide. And we went to the Knesset. You can go ahead. Another menorah. Go ahead. So this gentleman, his first name, he's a Reform rabbi. He's a member of Knesset. He's a member of the Labor Party, which when we were young, was the party of David Ben-Gurion and Golda Meir and Yitzhak Rabin. But they only have 4 members in the Knesset now. But he has a very strong voice, and he advocates for liberal Judaism, and conservative and reform are now working hand in hand to make sure that monies are allocated equitably. You'll hear more about that from me at the turn of the year, because you may know about what's called the World Zionist Congress, and I'm not sure how many of you. I don't do it every time, but for a small fee, I think it's $5 or $10, you get to be a delegate, and then you get a ballot, and then to the World Zionist Congress. And he was imploring us to come back to our homes, and we had rabbis from all over the world, and sign up as many people as we can, because the Jewish National Fund, which in Israel is called Kalkal, Karen Kayemet Yisrael, they're separate groups but clearly work together. They own 37% of the land in the land of Israel. And so however it is that it develops, they have a lot of money to give away. He said, we need to counter the work of the Haredi community because they're mostly not Zionists, and they clearly don't serve in the army, but they figured out the best way to get money is to have everybody in their community sign up. And so they have been increasing with those efforts, getting stronger every year. They've succeeded in getting a bigger and bigger piece of the pie of what Kalkal can give away. So I think it's between March and May. And so I'll speak to leadership. I'm not trying to spring this on you, but we care about Israel, and that's a way to allow Jews that are, because the majority of Jews in the world are not Orthodox, so people of other types of our kind of Jews need to be represented. All right, let's go on. There we go. We were leaving the requisite picture in front of the Knesset. Another one, I think we can wind up. Now this is what I've told the class about. That's many of you who went to Israel years ago may have posed in front of this. That's the menorah in front, and they moved. I kept looking, where is it? It's as we were leaving it, I said, I need that picture, but it's like as you're walking away. All right, go ahead. And so anybody know what that is? The Shrine of the Book. It's the Israel Museum. That's where the Dead Sea Scrolls are when they're not at the Reagan Library in Simi Valley. I wanted to go and say, did you give all of them away to Simi Valley? But it's a very important place because of what the Dead Sea Scrolls represent. All right, next slide. So this really was bone-chilling. It was right after we saw the Shrine of the Book. And it says, Ma imzeh haya abba shelcha. What would it be if it was your father who was a hostage in Gaza? It's just heart-rending. But, all right, morning minion. Okay, keep going. I like pictures of skies. Let's go. I think we need to wind down, but we'll do, let's say, 3 more slides. So you know that a year ago I went to the site of where there had been attacks, Kibbutz Kfar Aza. The track that we were on went to this kibbutz, which is where they've been resettled. They originally went north of Tel Aviv. They're now on this kibbutz called Ruchama. They have doubled because the people who are residents of kibbutz Ruchama had extra property. The majority of the displaced residents of Kfar Aza wanted to be resettled in the area, which Ruchama is, near where they lived, so the kids can go to the schools that they'd gone to before. And so they're modular homes. And, okay, next slide. See, they're building like it's going to be a real environment. No, not our houses. It'll be beautiful. All right, next slide. There might be a cute one. All right, next. All right, so they made the rabbis into carpenters. I joked, I said, we build once a year. It's to make a sukkah, but we're going to try. And so they gave us what was pre-made were the V-shaped bottom of the tables. So we put it together. There was one person guiding us, but we did it. So the table is already together, and look at that. 3 of us made a table. And that's to put in the back of the home so people could sit outside, have a cup of coffee while the kids are playing. Those of us who have children raise kids who we want to be able to think. And so my oldest daughter had said to me, Dad, are you going to be engaged in trauma tourism, just going to all the troubled spots? I said, it will also be doing good work, and this was the work we did. All right, the fellow in the gray T-shirt, maybe only one more after this, he is a survivor of the attacks at Kfar Aza, which were pretty gruesome, and he thanked us. All right, next. And this is, it's a little out of, it doesn't matter. This is from the next day, so it was Wednesday when we went to Sderot. This is the indoor playground, which is also a bomb shelter. And that's the mural. Okay. And then again, more stickers. All right, let's go. So that is the memorial. That's exactly where the police station had stood, and that's where the beams. And I can explain another time what the other mural was. All right, and they're just pictures of the policemen that died that day. So okay, we'll listen to one of these, so then we'll finish the service.
17 police, 37 civilians were killed, approximate numbers. This is where terrorists came in on
Thank you, everybody. If you have any other questions, happy to talk over oneg. I think we need to remember that the lowest hanging fruit, as I was saying months ago, and it became clear that we just have to reach out to any people we already know. Perhaps additional people and groups could be found to the different organizations that I know you're part of, just to have an ongoing connection. Later this afternoon, as I was, finishing my prep and eating, I saw there were bomb alerts. Some of you may have the same app that I do, and people had to rush to the bomb shelters as far north as Tel Aviv, later our afternoon, the middle of their night. So the situation is fluid. So let's do whatever we can. We now continue with, I think we won't do the song we were going to do because time is running late. So we are going to go right to Aleinu, page 282. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כעם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
At this time, we are recalling the people for whom Shiva or Shloshim are being observed. Ronnie Silber, cousin of Mike Kritchmar, who died on the 20th of November. Rabbi Tzvi Kogan, Sergeant Major Yona Betzalel Brief. If you want the details, they're on the handout. Max Meyerson. The people for whom Kaddish is being said, the 11-month minus the day period. Connie Tarnopol, Howard Hoffman, Bardia Lajavardi, Erno Ross, Val Pivo, Don Witt, Judy Cole. Jose Zimmerman, Joseph Glazer, Ken Kravitz, Ralph Peter Folsom, Adrian, Scott Held, David Scharf, Laura Block, Socorro Morales, Sheldon Culkin, James Honigman, Tommy Mueller, and Sylvia Liederman. The people for whom yahrzeit is being observed are Deborah Rothstein, Joseph Lionel Weissman, Jack Levin, Max Finkelstein, Rose Chudnov, Mary Ann Kravitz, Ruth Weinper, Samuel Handel, Bela Lofshi Governar, Marcine Denise Garces, Rose Klein, Norman H. Shartoff, Gertrude Weiner, Mildred Sane, Alban Sealander, Pearl Tarnopol, Yetta Horowitz, Pamela Novick, Aaron Turak, Lillian Pogrand, Nancy H. Brenes Rios, Philip Zepper, Renee Gulko, and Irvin Nadler. Are there people in the sanctuary who have loved ones that they would like to add? Then, if not, I ask you who are standing to remain standing to give support to the people in the room that will be saying Kaddish. It is found on page 294. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah V'alma Divra Chirutei V'amlich Malchutei V'chayechon V'yomechon U'v'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman Kari V'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Leolam Olmei Olmaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitboar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudasha Berichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbachata V'nechamata Da'amiram B'alma V'imru Amen. Yehi Shloma Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'imromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Welcome to the people wearing little neon-colored tags. We look forward to getting to know you and to talk a little bit. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the service. It's great to be together. Glad I could represent our synagogue in Israel and bring greetings on behalf of our kids. We are now going to go to the Kiddush, page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. The grape juice keeps getting better and better every week. You think it was one? I wanted to do a reading we skipped before. I also want to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah. It's nice to see the decorations. We take the acknowledgement of our holidays very seriously. The prayer for peace is in the handout. I want to share something. My nephew and his wife had a baby 3.5 weeks ago, and the bris was late because the boy was early. And so the moil, I heard the ceremony as I drove here Sunday after our flight home, he said there's 2 kinds of light. And there's passive light and there's active light. I suppose passive light is when we're on the beach or we're driving and, light is just coming towards us. He said, but I know this little boy, because of his family, is going to be active light, putting light out into the world. So I encourage us during the downtime to be passive recipients of light, but because a lot of you work really hard in all kinds of ways. But we also then, when we come back, have to be active purveyors of light into the world, because not everyone tries to. So we at least have to, given we can, to do it in a way that makes up for the others and helps the world be what it really needs to be. Oseh Shalom, and then we'll meet for Motzi in the back. Shabbat Shalom, happy Chanukah.
Oseh Shalom bimromav Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom.